Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Martial Universe Season 5 based on novel. So let's start. When he sensed the rapidly incoming vicious Yuan power shockwave behind him, Lin Dong's eyes glimmered. However, he showed no signs of turning around. The shockwave behind him was indeed extremely formidable, so much so that it was even more powerful than Lin Langtian, Mo Ling and the rest. Evidently, the person who attacked must be the peak manifestation practitioner from the Saint Light Empire. When he realized who had attacked, a vicious glint surfaced Lin Dong's eyes. Right now, the killing intent in his heart had reached its boiling point. Not only were these scumbags from the Saint Light Empire extremely overbearing, they even dared to attack him and snatch his demonic crystal. Their despicable actions were simply too outrageous. Given on Lin Dong's character, if someone wanted to snatch the peak manifestation demonic crystal away from him, let alone a peak manifestation stage practitioner, even if it were a Nirvana stage practitioner, Lin Dong would make him pay. However, before that, he must first obtain this Earth Devil Scorpion's demonic crystal. This thought flashed across Lin Dong's mind, however, the bone spear in his hand did not slow down. Instead, it moved thrust forward at an extremely rapid speed before it viciously stabbed at that Earth Devil Scorpion's wound. Kid, how dare you? Lin Dong's actions were immediately discovered by the one who had attacked behind him. Immediately, he shouted out in rage. A potent Yuan power erupted within his palm, before he viciously slammed his palm at Lin Dong's back. From the power of the blow, it was evident that he did not plan to spare Lin Dong. Humph! When he sensed the increasingly ferocious palm wind behind him, Lin Dong's mind moved as a surge of mental energy gushed forth from his Niwen palace. Instantly, it transformed into a large skull behind his back as a piercing mental energy sonic boom erupted, causing all the surrounding demonic beasts that were leaping towards him to be instantly blown apart by this mental energy sonic boom. A figure swiftly appeared behind Lin Dong's back. He was dressed in green robes, and was indeed the peak manifestation practitioner from the Saint Light Empire. When he saw that Lin Dong actually dared to resist and totally ignored his shouts, his face turned increasingly dark. Over this period of time, he naturally thought that no one in this area dared to challenge his authority. However, he never expected Lin Dong to actually ignore him. This was something that he could not accept. Overestimating yourself. The green-robed man's expression darkened. As he twirled his palm, a wave of extremely formidable Yuan power smashed into the mental energy skull like a whirlwind. With a single palm strike, he directly blew apart the skull. Nonetheless, although this man was extremely arrogant, he was indeed quite powerful. Though the peak manifestation stage was only one step up from the advanced manifestation stage, the difference between them was extremely huge. Of course, Lin Dong naturally did not expect that just this bit of mental energy alone would be able to stop that man. All he needed was to delay the latter for a moment. Hence, when this elite practitioner from Saint Light Empire, who was addressed as Senior Li, blew apart the skull, Lin Dong's heavenly crocodile bone spear carried a mental energy storm, as it neatly pierced the crack on the Earth Devil Scorpion's shell. An extremely sharp shockwave rushed out from the tip of the bone spear, as the solid shell immediately burst apart. Fresh blood spurted out, as the bone spear penetrated through it. This sudden deadly attack immediately caused the Earth Devil Scorpion to rage manically. Its large body continuously struggled, while it manically swung its two pincers, causing energy shockwaves that had enough power to blow apart a manifestation stage practitioner. Bang! Lin Dong's eyes were cold with the thought. The mental energy at the tip of his spear erupted, and instantly wiped off all traces of thought and life from the Earth Devil Scorpion. Though this demonic beast's physical body was extremely powerful, it had yet to refine a demonic spirit. Thus, its mental energy defenses were fairly weak. In the face of Lin Dong's formidable mental energy, the Earth Devil Scorpion did not show much resistance, and it immediately died. The Earth Devil Scorpion's body immediately stiffened, while an aura of death slowly emerged from it. When he saw the Earth Devil Scorpion die, Lin Dong quickly jerked his bone spear, directly blowing apart the Earth Devil Scorpion's brain. Instantly, fresh blood and brain juice spurted out. A suction force flew out from his palm, as a palm-sized blood-red demonic crystal emerged from within the fresh blood and landed in his palm. When the demonic crystal landed in his hands, Lin Dong immediately felt a burning sensation spread out from within his palm. At the same time, waves of potent Nirvana chi emerged from within. Compared to an ordinary demonic crystal, it at least a dozen times more potent. When the demonic crystal reached his palm, Lin Dong's foot pushed off the Earth Devil Scorpion's corpse as his body flew up. He stared at that green-robed man behind him with a cold and venomous expression, while killing intent flowed in his heart. When the Earth Devil Scorpion's corpse landed on the ground, the demonic horde seemed to have lost their leader as they howled at the sky, before quickly retreating like a tidal wave. In a mere 10 seconds, the blood-red wave of demonic beasts that had completely filled one's entire vision disappeared into the night. On the city wall, after experiencing the fearsome and massive battle, when the crowds saw the wave of demonic beasts retreat, they involuntarily heaved a sigh of relief. However, their attention immediately turned towards the two men that were facing off in mid-air outside of the city. It's Li Xing from the Saint Light Empire. It seems like he intends to snatch the peak manifestation demonic beast's crystal. That kid from Great Yang Empire is truly unfortunate. Li Xing is only one step away from the Nirvana stage. Even though that kid had previously killed a peak manifestation demonic beast, it was after all a demonic beast and not a person. The Saint Light Empire is simply too overbearing. After someone else painstakingly killed that peak manifestation demonic beast, he actually wants to snatch the demonic crystal. Shush, who dares to criticize the Saint Light Empire in this place? You remember what happened to the people who offended them. Those scoundrels. Atop the city wall, when the crowd stared at the scene in mid-air, a series of soft whispers erupted. At one corner of the city wall, Mo Ling, Du Yu and Man Shan's expression changed when they witnessed this sight. Promptly, rage surfaced on their faces. Those Saint Light Empire members were simply too overbearing. In mid-air, the green-robed man known as Li Xing wore an icy expression as he stared at Lin Dong. He slowly stretched out his palm and casually said, "Hand over the demonic crystal, bone spear and manifestation martial art. I will guarantee your safety in the ancient battlefield." When he heard these words, a sneer involuntarily flashed across Lin Dong's face. Not only did that fellow want his demonic crystal, he even wanted his heavenly crocodile bone spear, as well as the great desolate imprisoning heavenly finger. Lin Dong stared at Li Xing. Moments later, he slowly stretched out his hand. A fiery red, demonic crystal sat quietly on his palm, while a rich nirvana chi slowly spread out, causing the desire in Li Xing's eyes to intensify. "You are a wise one." Lin Dong's actions evidently pleased Li Xing. However, just as he was about to take the demonic crystal, a mocking look flashed across Lin Dong's face. Promptly, he closed his hand, directly crushing the demonic crystal as a devouring force gushed out and swallowed all the nirvana chi into his body. "Who do you think you are? Ensure my safety in the ancient battlefield. Based on your current strength, you can't even save yourself, yet you still want to save others." After Lin Dong devoured the demonic crystal, he sneered as he said. This sight was so sudden that Li Xing had no time to react. Hence, he was stunned for a moment, and he only regained his senses when he heard Lin Dong's mocking words. Immediately, his handsome face looked just like a pig's liver, while an unconcealable rage flowed in his eyes. Evidently, he had never expected that Lin Dong actually dared to fool him. On the city wall, everyone was silent as they witnessed this scene. Even though many of them were extremely outraged over Li Xing's actions, none of them dared to act like Lin Dong and actually challenge him in public. After all, he was the most powerful person around. All right, you peasant. This time around, even if you kneel down and offer me your soul treasure and martial arts, I will make you beg for your own death." Li Xing was so outraged that his body began to tremble. He stared viciously at Lin Dong, his voice filled with an unconcealable savage killing intent. And cold light flowed in Lin Dong's eyes. He suddenly took a step forward as streams of savage Yuan power manically gushed out from his body. As his Yuan power gushed forth, his aura began to surge steadily until eventually, he finally broke through the final obstacle and reached the advanced manifestation stage. After brewing over this period of time, plus the nirvana chi inside the previous demonic crystal, the current Lin Dong had officially broken through to the advanced manifestation stage. His strength had surged once again. Lin Dong's aura wildly surged around his body, while his icy cold roar rumbled across the horizon like thunder. "Your Saint Light Empire has been bossing us around these past few days. Do you really believe that you are the overlords of this region? In that case, I shall make you wake up to reality today. You actually dare to call yourselves overlords with just this strength? You must be dreaming." On the city wall, many people were dumbstruck when they heard Lin Dong's roar. Once these words were out, there was no longer any way to peacefully resolve this matter. In the mid-air outside the city wall, Li Xing stared coldly at Lin Dong. The fury in his heart caused his face to be slightly twisted, and he looked extremely sinister. Lin Dong humiliated him in front of so many people, and this was something he could not endure given his pride and arrogance. It appears that I may have been too soft in my approach, so much so that even a filth from a small empire dares to disrespect me. Li Xing's sinister voice was filled with apparent rage and killer intent. You really think that by stepping into the advanced manifestation stage, you can challenge me? You don't know how many advanced manifestation stage practitioners have died in my hands. Today, I will make you one of them. At this moment, the Saint Light Empire's elites, who were standing on the city wall, were enraged by Lin Dong's words as well. Immediately, all of their eyes were surging with killer intent. They flew down and encircled Lin Dong and blocked all his escape routes. Apparently, they were not going to let Lin Dong off today. When Mo Ling, Duyun and Man Shan saw this, their facial expression changed drastically. They looked at each other and clenched their teeth. Then, they flew out and appeared by Lin Dong's side while looking vigilantly at the Saint Light Empire's elites. Mo Ling, it appears you want to lead all of the Great Yang Empire's men to death. Xia Huang smirked coldly as he saw Mo Ling and his counterparts' actions. So all of them are from the Great Yang Empire. Let's kill all of them. Otherwise, it will troublesome if any of their kind appears occasionally in the future, Li Xing said as he looked coldly at Mo Ling and his counterparts. Hey, I'm not related to them in any ways. Lin Dong and I are arch-enemies, so if the gentleman of the Saint Light Empire can kill him for me, I will be very thankful. Lin Langtian chuckled grimly as he stared at them from the city wall. Lin Langtian. Upon hearing these words, Mo Ling and his counterparts was furious. That guy courts his own death, and he deserves this. I advise all of you to leave him as soon as possible. Sooner or later, an idiot like him will encumber all of you. Lin Langtian sneered. He could not wait to see Lin Dong gets killed by Li Xing and his counterparts. Given his nature, how could he not strike Lin Dong while the latter was in trouble at this moment? You are quite a tactful person. Li Xing took a glance at Lin Langtian and smiled plainly. Then, the former turned to look at Mo Ling and his counterparts and said, the Saint Light Empire will never use its strength to bully others. As long as all of you leave now, I can treat it as if nothing has happened. Of course, this lad will have to pay for his insolence today. The dignity of the Saint Light Empire shall not tolerate any provocations. Upon hearing these words, Mo Ling and the rest looked at each other and smiled bitterly while shaking their heads. For some reasons, they had unwavering confidence in Lin Dong. Even though they knew that they are facing the Saint Light Empire's elites, they did feel hopeless at all. However, just as they decided to stand by Lin Dong, the latter suddenly opened his mouth and said, Brother Mo Ling, all of you retreat first. I can handle this situation. Upon hearing these words, Mo Ling and the rest were stunned. They turned around and saw a smiling Lin Dong while their eyes surged with deep doubt. They did not doubt Lin Dong's capabilities, but Li Xing truly was a peak manifestation elite after all. Besides, the abilities that the latter possessed were far more mightier than theirs. Even though Lin Dong had defeated Wang Zhong, Li Xing was much more powerful than Wang Zhong. Despite the doubts they had in their minds, they had nothing to say now. After a moment of silence, they could only nod their heads quietly and muttered, Be careful. If you can't do it, we will escape from here. Lin Dong gave slight smile. With regards to Lin Langtian's action of striking him while he was in trouble, Lin Dong was not really surprised. However, what astonished him was that Mo Ling and the rest were determined in standing by his side. He was someone who would repay others 10 times the kindness they had shown him. Therefore, for the sake of the kind intention that Mo Ling and the rest had shown him, he could not disappoint them. Mo Ling and the rest then slowly floated down and looked anxiously at the mid-air. Do you want to fight against me solo, or with everyone at the same time? Lin Dong raised his head to look at Li Xing and asked calmly, after seeing Mo Ling and the rest had retreated. To the onlookers, Lin Dong's words appeared to be unnecessary. Given Li Xing's arrogance, how was it possible that he would need assistance in fighting someone who had just entered the advanced manifestation stage? And just like what they had expected, a disdain look appeared on Li Xing's face after he heard Lin Dong's words. He then sneered, Do you really think that you are qualified to challenge me just because you killed a peak manifestation demonic beast? I alone is enough to deal with you. Okay. Facing Li Xing's disdainful smirk, Lin Dong just replied with one word. The next moment, vigorous yuan power erupted abruptly within his body. After breaking through to advanced manifestation stage, the yuan power in Lin Dong's body had become much more vigorous in an instant. Soon, you will see how foolish your actions are previously. Li Xing's facial expression did not change a bit even when he saw the eruption of yuan power in Lin Dong's body. Without any hesitation, he took a step forward ferociously and blasted out a punch. Saint Light Illumination. As Li Xing blasted out a punch, violent yuan power erupted like a volcano from his body. Then, the boundless yuan power began to form around his fist and transformed into 10,000 rays of brilliant radiance that swept towards Lin Dong with an astonishing might. Boom. Boom. Honestly speaking, Li Xing's strength was extremely powerful. His attack was terrifying and overwhelming. The 10,000 rays of brilliant radiance contained vigorous yuan power and illuminated the entire area, creating waves of energy ripples in the mid-air as well. Great desolate ocean splitting seal. Lin Dong's eyes flickered and his hand seal changed irregularly. Robust yuan power became huge tsunami waves and surged out from his back. Accompanied by a powerful undulation, a light seal then ripped through the tsunami waves and collided with the 10,000 rays of brilliant radiance. Boom. At this moment, it appeared that the entire land trembled. The heaps of demonic beasts' corpses were crushed by the energy ripples and became numerous clouds of blood mist. Just as the energy wave swept across the area, Lin Dong's feet executed the Supreme Purity Sky Wanderer steps, and he transformed into a wisp of green smoke. With the heavenly crocodile bone spear in his hand, he flew out and pierced through the energy ripples violently, and aimed towards Li Xing's chest with a lightning speed. Humph! When he saw Lin Dong's attack, Li Xing gave a cold snort. Then, he closed his palms before a light shield instantly materialized in front of him. Break it! However, even when Li Xing set up his defense, Lin Dong did not stop his attack. With a jolt of his arms, the heavenly crocodile bone spear produced a bizarre roar. An exceptionally sharp aura gushed out and landed ruthlessly on the light shield. Immediately, the light shield ruptured. The sharpness of the heavenly crocodile bone spear had once again displayed astonishing power. Li Xing was surprised by the heavenly crocodile bone spear's sharpness as well. His light shield was capable of withstanding all-out attacks from any advanced manifestation stage elites, yet in the face of the bone spear, it was utterly useless. Do you think you are the only one who possess earthly soul treasure? Li Xing retreated and dodged the heavenly crocodile bone spear's sharp tip. Then, with a flip of his hand, a luminous drum appeared on his hand. The luminous drum began to expand in size as it faced the wind and became more than 10 feet tall. With a swipe of his robes, a light pillar of yuan power landed on the luminous drum. Immediately, a terrifying sonic boom, accompanied by sacred light, shot out from the luminous drum. That intense sonic boom knocked Lin Dong back several steps. Lad, I will show you the might of my Saint Light Empire's Saint Light drum. Li Xing then moved his body and appeared on top of the Saint Light drum. With a ghastly smile, he stomped his feet on the luminous drum continuously. Immediately, numerous sound waves were produced and formed countless lustrous arrows, so much so that they were able to hide the sky and cover the earth. These lustrous arrows then shot out violently from the drum. This kind of power was extremely terrifying. If an advanced manifestation stage elite was hit by this attack, he would be pierced to death by the arrows through his heart. Heavenly crocodile hiss. Facing such a powerful attack from Li Xing, Lin Dong jerked his heavenly crocodile bone spear and imbued it with boundless yuan power. Immediately, a brilliant radiance erupted from the bone spear and formed a fearsome ancient crocodile. As the spine-chilling crocodile hissed towards the sky, waves of sonic booms were produced and diffused in a ripple-like way. Bang! As the multitude of lustrous arrows and the crocodile hiss collided, numerous explosions erupted in the sky. Astonishing energy wave swept across the area like a storm. Li Xing was driven back several steps by this energy wave as well. With a flip of the Saint Light drum, a light screen materialized before him and only then could the energy wave be deflected. While Li Xing was driven back, Lin Dong was knocked back several steps as well. However, he was not dispirited at all. Instead, his battle morale was uplifted. Since he had just broken through the advanced manifestation stage, he needed an unrestrained epic battle to satisfy himself. Even though both of them engaged each other multiple times, there were still no obvious signs of which side was winning. This led the onlookers to feel shocked as well. Initially, they thought once Li Xing took actions, Lin Dong would collapse quickly. However, no one had expected Lin Dong to sustain so long in such an epic battle. This certainly surprised some onlookers. No wonder Lin Dong was not afraid of Li Xing. It appeared that the former's fighting capabilities far surpassed his capabilities on the surface. As Xia Huang saw this, his face became unsightly. However, he then sneered, even though this lad has some capabilities, but soon he will regret it. How dare a filth from a small empire dare to challenge the son of God in Senior Li? He certainly overestimates his capabilities. Boom. At this moment, it was as if Li Xing agreed with his mockings. Numerous brilliant rays of light erupted from the former's body in the mid-air. These rays of light then coagulated and formed a gigantic luminous elephant. A scary energy fluctuation and suppressive force was emitting from it. Lad, you will be the first person to witness the prowess of Saint Light Empire's manifestation martial arts, and you should be proud of yourself. Of course, you will have to pay with your life. As the oppressive force spread, Li Xing's voice, which was filled with killer intent, rumbled through the sky like thunder rolls. Resplendent rays coupled with an extremely formidable yuan power shockwave erupted from Li Xing's body. Under the blinding light, it seemed like night had turned to day. Light flowed across the horizon. Faintly, there seemed to be a titanic glowing elephant amidst the bright light. The giant elephant towered in the sky, as if the entire world was contained beneath its feet. Meanwhile, an energy ripple, that could support the sky, slowly spread out, causing ripples to erupt in the air. Meanwhile, Li Xing's body hovered right in front of the large glowing elephant, while a venomous and cold expression filled his face. Thanks to the glowing light, his whole body was filled with an exceedingly powerful aura, causing no one to dare underestimate him. Such formidable yuan power undulations, it must be a manifestation martial art. On the city wall, several people stared in, or at the lifelike large glowing elephant behind Li Xing. Its formidable pressure and undulations indicated that it must be a manifestation martial art. Humph, what an arrogant brat. He actually forced Senior Li to execute his Saint Elephant Sky crumbling tackle. Looks like there will be no need to watch this fight anymore. Once Senior Li attacks, that fellow will immediately be crushed into a meat pulp. When Xia Huang saw this scene, his pupils shrunk before he promptly chuckled. Of course, Saint Elephant Sky crumbling tackle is a mid-grade manifestation martial art. A single strike is powerful enough to destroy an entire mountain. Furthermore, when combined with Senior Li's peak manifestation stage strength, Lin Dong is definitely doomed. It seems like Senior Li is no longer in the mood to play with that fellow. That's fine as well. Let's take care of him quickly, the night is truly uncomfortable. The other elite Saint Light Empire practitioners chuckled. Evidently, they believed that once Li Xing used this move, the outcome of the fight was already decided. Such a formidable manifestation martial art. Mo Ling and the rest's facial expression turned exceptionally solemn. The pressuring aura emerging from mid-air made them understood that if they were in his shoes and had to face such a powerful attack, even if they could withstand it, they would have to pay a heavy price. I don't know if Lin Dong is able to handle such an attack. The three of them glanced at one another. They could all see worry in their respective eyes. The attack this time around would likely end the fight. In mid-air, Lin Dong's expression also turned increasingly solemn when he saw the giant glowing elephant materialize behind Li Xing. From the ripples, he could sense that Li Xing's manifestation martial arts would not lose out to the manifestation martial arts that Lin Langtian had obtained from the manifestation martial tablet, hand of the Universal Emperor. In fact, since Li Xing was more powerful than Lin Langtian, when he used his manifestation martial art, the strength of his attack was even more formidable. In fact, even other peak manifestation stage practitioners would have no choice but to dodge this attack. However, though others had to dodge his attack, Lin Dong had no need to fear. Even though Li Xing's manifestation martial arts was extremely powerful, right now, his strength had surged as well. Therefore, one would only know the final outcome after a fight. Kid, right now, I won't even give you the chance to repent. I will let everyone know the consequences of offending me. Li Xing's foot stepped on the light, as he stared venomously at Lin Dong. As he sensed that majestic aura behind him, he became extremely confident. After he used this move, not to mention the advanced manifestation stage, even if Lin Dong was at the peak manifestation stage, he would still die. After he shouted, Li Xing evidently did not plan to give Lin Dong any time to breathe. As he took a step back, he immediately leapt into the head of the large glowing elephant. The large elephant howled at the sky as a deafening roar echoed out. Saint Elephant Sky Crumbling Tackle. The giant elephant cried while it charged forward. Light rushed out, making it resemble an apocalyptic elephant that could destroy the world. Its rumbling footsteps shook the heavens as it carried terrifying energy ripples and brazenly charged at Lin Dong. Boom. Boom. Everywhere that giant elephant passed, a near 100-meter ditch would be forcefully torn apart on the ground below. Moreover, anything that the giant elephant slammed against would instantly crumble to dust. As he stared at the large glowing elephant that was rapidly growing in his eyes, Lin Dong's face turned exceedingly solemn. His feet executed the Supreme Purity Sky Wanderer steps, while he quickly retreated. At the same time, his hands swiftly executed various hand seals, while streams of formidable yuan power shockwaves whizzed out from within his body. Great Desolate Imprisoning Heavenly Finger, First Finger Imprisoning the World. With a formidable glint in his eyes, Lin Dong thrust out his finger. Promptly, a large finger filled with an ancient aura broke through the air and emerged from behind him. It viciously pressed against the large glowing elephant that was tramping across the sky. Boom. The two of them viciously clashed. However, this time around, the large finger did not last for too long, before it directly ruptured into glowing dots and crumbled. Nonetheless, though that giant finger was destroyed, it was able to stop the large elephant for a moment. Great Desolate Imprisoning Heavenly Finger, Second Finger Shredding Mountains and Rivers. Third Finger Exterminating All Life. After his first finger was destroyed, Lin Dong did not panic at all as he pointed out twice in the air. Immediately, majestic yuan power howled across the horizon, while all the yuan power in the area began to rage. Two sturdy and world-changing giant fingers once again materialized above Lin Dong. Following which, the crowds watched in amazement as the fingers flew with a terrifying speed, causing the air to explode before viciously slamming against the large glowing elephant. Bang! Bang! After they clashed once again, all the air in the area seemed to explode, causing a hurricane unfurl. In fact, even the ground below was forcefully lifted several feet, while several cracks spread out like a spiderweb. This time around, the large glowing elephant was no longer as dominating as before. After colliding against the two giant fingers, both sides seemed to be at a stalemate, while terrifyingly shockwaves continuously erupted forth. On the forehead of the large glowing elephant, Li Xing's body faintly appeared. When he saw that his attack had been gradually halted, he was extremely shocked. However, the greed in his eyes promptly intensified. It seems like Lin Dong's martial arts did not lose out to his Saint Elephant Sky Crumbling Tackle. Therefore, if he could obtain it, his battle ability would surely surge. You shall break. While greed flowed in his eyes, Li Xing suddenly growled. Immediately, a blinding sun-like radiance erupted from the large glowing elephant, while its might and aura were pushed to the maximum. The large elephant howled while its massive body suddenly pushed forward. Instantly, the land began to tremble, while a terrifying energy shock wave swept forth just like a storm. Due to the terrifying energy shock wave, the crowds were shocked when they saw several cracks slowly emerge on those two giant fingers. Finally, with a loud bang, they once again blew up. It seems like Li Xing's manifestation martial art was truly formidable. Kid, remember this. Before you offend someone in your next life, make sure you open your eyes bigger and take a careful look. When the giant fingers crumbled, Li Xing's prideful chuckle emerged from within the large elephant. The large elephant's speed did not decrease, carrying a force that could tackle the heavens before it viciously charged towards Lin Dong. As he stared at that rapidly incoming giant elephant, Lin Dong took in a deep breath, his eyes slowly closing. At the same time, all the yuan power in his body seemed to have been urged to the maximum, as majestic yuan power gushed out from his body like tidal waves, causing the yuan power in the area to start churning in an instant. As the yuan power of the land surged, Lin Dong once again lifted up his finger and slowly pointed in the air. Great Desolate Imprisoning Heavenly Finger, Fourth Finger Breaking the Heavens. When Lin Dong's finger thrust out, the space above him was seemingly ripped apart, while an ancient giant finger, which seemed to have came from ancient times, slowly appeared in front of everyone's eyes. The large finger was filled with an ancient and world-changing aura. In fact, there were even various ancient patterns on its body. This time around, when Lin Dong used the fourth finger, it was undoubtedly much more powerful and lifelike compared to the time when he used it against Lin Langtian. In fact, its shockwaves were enough to strike fear into the hearts of a peak manifestation practitioner. When the other Saint Light Empire practitioners saw the giant ancient finger, thick shock filled their eyes. In fact, even the grin on Xia Huang's face froze. They could all feel an aura of death on the giant finger, and all of them knew that if the finger attacked them, regardless of how they resisted, there would only be one outcome, death. What a powerful martial art. Not only them, even Mo Ling and the rest were stunned. This was the first time that they ever seen Lin Dong use the fourth finger. Break. Lin Dong's finger pointed in the air, while the giant ancient finger directly ripped through space. Under the stares from the crowd, it appeared in front of the large glowing elephant, before it pressed down. When the finger pressed down, all the raging Yuan power in the area seemed to turn silent in an instant. In fact, the majestic large glowing elephant was completely suppressed. Before the finger landed, there was already a several 100 feet large depression on the ground below. Boom. The ancient giant finger slowly landed on the large glowing elephant. The entire world turned silent. Under the bewildered stares of the crowd, they saw several tiny cracks slowly appear on the large glowing elephant. Lin Dong's expression was cold as the edge of a blade as his finger abruptly pointed, completely releasing the full power of the fourth finger. Die. Part 1 end here.